Hey everyone! In our last explainer, we dipped our toes into the world of machine learning. Well, today, we're going to go one step deeper. And I mean that literally. That one little word, deep, is the key to this whole thing. So, what does it actually mean? Okay, so what is deep learning? You hear this term thrown around everywhere, right? And it can sound super complicated, maybe even a little scary. But I promise you, the main idea behind it is actually pretty beautiful and makes a lot of sense. So, here's the simplest way to think about it. Deep learning is just a special, really powerful kind of machine learning. And its secret sauce? It uses these things called neural networks, which are basically structures modeled after our own brains to learn from huge amounts of data. And that brain part? That's the key. To really get this, let's start with something we all know inside and out, literally, the human brain. Trust me, this analogy is going to make everything click into place without us having to look at a single line of code or a scary math equation. Just think about what your brain does every second. It's packed with these tiny little things called neurons, right? And they're all connected, firing away, helping you do everything. They let you see the world, hear a sound, understand what I'm saying right now, and remember things from years ago. It's an amazing little computer. Well, guess what? Deep learning works in a very similar way. It's basically trying to copy that same playbook. So let's draw a straight line here. Your brain uses biological neurons, made of cells and tissue. Deep learning uses artificial neurons. And when you string a whole bunch of these artificial neurons together in a network, voila, you've got an artificial neural network. That's the engine that drives all of deep learning. Okay, so that brings us back to that one really important word. We get the learning part, we get the neural network part, but why is it called deep learning? And the answer is actually so simple, you're going to love it. It's because that artificial neural network isn't flat. It has layers, lots and lots of layers. And this is where the real magic happens. Think of these layers like a team of experts on an assembly line. The first layers, the ones at the bottom, they learn super basic stuff. Like if it's looking at a picture, they might just learn to spot a simple line or a patch of color. Then they pass that info up to the middle layers. These guys start putting those simple things together to spot more complex patterns, like an eye or a nose. And finally, the top layers take all that information and learn the meaning. Hey, that's a person's face. So that's it. That's the big secret. This idea of layered learning, that is exactly what makes it deep. It's not about being mysterious. It's literally about having a depth of layers. Okay, so how is this different from the machine learning we talked about before? This is probably the single biggest difference. In traditional machine learning, a human has to do a lot of the upfront work. We have to tell the machine which features are important. But with deep learning, the machine learns the important features all by itself, through those layers. It's a total game changer. And because it can figure out what's important on its own, deep learning is an absolute superstar when it comes to really complex, kind of messy data. I'm talking about things like images, voice recordings, videos, and just normal human language. Stuff where the patterns are way too complicated for a person to list out. And here's the cool part. You are already using this stuff every single day. That face unlock on your phone that works in a split second, that's deep learning. When you talk to Siri or Alexa, yep, deep learning. The incredible vision systems and self-driving cars, or those apps that can translate a sign for you in real time? You guessed it. It's all powered by these deep neural networks. Now, this kind of power doesn't come for free. To get these amazing results, deep learning has a pretty big appetite. It needs a ton of data to learn from. We're talking massive amounts. It also needs really powerful computers. You often hear about GPUs, the same chips used for gaming. And it can take a whole lot of time to train these models. But even with all that, the results are just unbelievably powerful. It's totally worth the effort. So if you're just starting out and you really want this to stick, here's my advice. Please don't get hung up on the math at first. Just forget about it for now. Instead, really focus on that simple idea of layers, how the simple stuff gets combined to understand the complex stuff, and then connect that idea back to the real-world examples you use every day. I promise you, once that main idea of layered learning really clicks in your head, all the other technical details become so much easier to understand later on. The goal today wasn't to make you an expert. It was just to show you that deep learning isn't scary. At its heart, it's a really cool and understandable idea. And why does this all matter so much right now? Well, because deep learning is the foundation, the bedrock for all the most advanced AI you're hearing about. Things like generative AI that creates art and music. those super smart chatbots, and even the future of AI agents, it all starts with deep learning. And speaking of that, we're going to build directly on this foundation. In our very next explainer, we're going to dive headfirst into the amazing world of generative AI to see how these systems actually create new things from scratch. So stick with me, we're learning this all step by step.